Alexa, whenever Alexa pushes through.
You could always say, "Hey Alexa, play the newest, the Will Rogers Experiment podcast on iHeartRadio," and it'll play it right for you.
Isn't that crazy?
Play all of them for you if you
The
want.
big thing I would tell you is the award that he and I won as podcasters was because people endlessly watched our show.
Binge watching.
Binge watching. A binge watching award. How
Binge
funny is
watching
it?
award and Rising Star Award because we got like top 25% of audience.
And you know, I still think we're probably the only show as far as Democrats go in Oklahoma, so it's a tight room.
Tight room.
Do you know of anybody else doing anything?
No, I mean, there's
coffee. So Kevin Dawson does one called Coffee with Kevin.
Coffee with Kevin, you know, and there are individual TikTokers that do pretty good, like Mr. Global, right? He's got a huge following, but he mostly talks about oil because he's an oil guy. But you know, he has some other politics stuff he talks about too. But he's got a pretty good following.
He hates everybody just about as much as we do.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you about this past week. So I go to Washington D.C.
Okay.
This past week, up on Thursday. I'm a board member with the ACLU of Oklahoma.
Okay.
And didn't know I could be that, and so I ran for office work, because somebody told me, and I won it about a little over a year ago. But so I go up for this thing, and it's 4 days of really, really intense stuff.
That is why Rob Standridge hates your guts.
Okay, well, it's yet another reason. It might have been the black roses to his wife.
To his wife and stuff like that, you know. Yeah.
So we get up there, and then they've got like 1,000 teenagers and stuff in there, which we don't really interact with, because just for a safety standpoint in politics, you just keep that to one room, something else to the other room. But we had a day of action going up to the Capitol, and so we had all these people to go literally lobby for immigrant rights. Now, whether you're for it or not, doesn't matter, but you know, we've in this case, this is about DACA recipients. So we have paid for DACA recipients to go to public school for 12 years.
Yeah.
We're 100 grand, 150 grand into it. The worst investment a businessman could make is to throw away the 150 grand and give it to another country so they can use it against us or for us, right? So we send these kids back to a country they've never been, don't know anybody, probably don't know the relatives, and probably not into their hometown.
Or speak the language.
Right. So sex trafficking picks up.
Yeah, there you go.
Narco trafficking is what you actually have to worry about because you got people that know a bunch of people in one place, and they have to work in another place, and we forced them to be there.
Yeah.
Forced. These kids have never had a choice in any of this. So watch narco trafficking go up in the next 5 years.
Okay.
Right, because it's a pivotal move that you don't have a choice. Look, if people are broke, they will do terrible things.
Yeah.
And so this is just not a well thought out deal. So the reason I bring all this up is Stephanie Bice is CD5.
Okay.
So they organized our deals for us, so I didn't really have it, and we were on there doing a drop-by tour. So I just texted her. I said, "Hey, we're getting ready to come by. I'd like to see you for a couple of minutes if I can." She writes me back and she tells me that she's out of town, but her staffers were great. We had 2 people up in front and then 2 other guys that met with us, and there was somebody else who was in there too. I can't remember that person's name, but everybody was wonderful, met with us, talked to us, and I gave them all of my different weirder views as a business person of why this stuff is so stupid. But this is only to get a vote on keeping DACA going.
Yeah.
So there's no harm in it. You wouldn't be held to a penalty because you'd go, hey, it's America, we should be voting on it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what ends up happening out of it, but it was neat to be there. It's an impressive place. I've only been to DC once, and it was for the women's rally years ago when Trump first got elected. So this is my second time protesting both times and talking to people.
I've been to a lot of places around the United States. I used to travel with a band and all that stuff.
You were in a band. I didn't meet. And then a guy that was in band with you in high school. Really? I can't remember his name. God dang it! He told me to tell you hi.
Tim. No.
County at Oklahoma County. He works down in Oklahoma County.
Yeah, he works in Oklahoma County.
I can't remember.
Todd Plunkett?
I wouldn't remember it.
What did he play? Did I say we play?
Oh, he was like, Kim was a front man. He brought security, bro. And I said, he knows how to promote, man.
Right.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I don't know.
Sorry, I can't remember his name, and I did write it down, which usually helps, but evidently not this time.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've been to a lot of places. Yeah. One place I haven't been is DC. I haven't been to DC. I haven't. Imagine that. I would go sometime.
So all of the
it's on my bucket list.
All of the museums are free.
Yep.
Parks are free. Botanical Garden's free. So all you have to do is get there.
Get there.
And
you know what? Another place that's on my bucket list that I haven't been to is the Grand Canyon.
I haven't been there.
I've been within probably 40 miles of it, but I didn't
I was in too big of a hurry to get where I was going.
I was on there. I mean, I was in Arizona on business. Really, I didn't have the time to really take off and go to see it.
Okay, just to segue back to politics, I want to do the Grand Canyon too, but I did the same thing as you. I just went around.
Yeah, we're all real close by.
Well, let's talk about Lane Brown.
Yeah, Lane Brown. Yeah, I know, man. The guy who threatened to fight two old men and then decided, I don't want to fight two old men.
Chickened out, right?
Chickened out.
And this kid was a high school baseball player and stuff, so Ryan Walters takes him in under his wing.
Yeah.
And I'm watching
Starts dressing like Ryan Walters and all
this
other stuff.
Yeah,
weird.
he was dressing exactly like him, and then they had this one photo that I had, and it's three like skinny, kind of goofy looking boys, and they're like, yeah, we're the alpha males of this deal. And so when you try that hard to be an alpha male, obviously we know what it means, but you'll have to figure it out yourselves. But there is a photo of Ryan Walters, and it does not appear to be doctored, but the two of them next to each other, Walters' pants are unbuttoned.
Yeah.
And they're at a park, like a public park.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was AI or something to do
that.
If
you look at the flow of the shirt, it's not. But, I also had the one of Walters with that guy with straight men don't put their hands on the inner thigh of another guy.
Yeah.
For a photo. They just don't do it.
They don't do it.
And so my worry was that Walters was grooming this kid because he was like 17 when he first started hanging out with him, and he was all impressed with Walters. And he was attacking.
And he's running for county commissioner.
He lost. He got his ass kicked.
And
then he was going to the
Rogers County, right?
Yeah, he got his ass kicked. And then he was going to go into the military, and he hasn't done that. So
he hopped on a popular straight. See, he's big time on the data centers out there and the smelters.
And
so we hopped on that because that's something that is actually cross-party. We talked about this last week.
We could agree.
Those data centers and everything else, everybody hates them.
Yeah, we can agree. And sooner or later, we have to realize they just use too much energy and too much water.
Especially as they're engineered now, because hey, you know what? We see. Okay, hey man, look, we're on the internet. We're influencers, we're everything else. We actually, some of that is
we're part of the problem.
Part of it.
Yeah.
But and then I did a video. Wow, I did this video for one of the songs I wrote. Some songwriter. We talked about that just a few minutes ago. I don't know if you saw it. It's on my Facebook page. And it was with the help of AI to flow the animation.
Great ideas. Yeah.
And so you got to see it. So on my Facebook page, I got if you go to my reels, my video for a song I wrote called Power of the Universe.
Oh, cool.
Was right there. It was, and the only thing I used the AI for was the flow of the animation and the syncing to the song.
Nice.
Now the characters I got to choose, I got to manipulate them and everything else, and the scenery. Some of the scene was, they give you options, right? So some of it is AI generated, but I get to choose and I get to manipulate.
Yeah. Cool.
But the song's all original. I wrote every piece. I play every instrument. I recorded the whole thing myself. So
they just basically edited it.
Yeah, just edited it. So but I did that. So yeah. Okay, so data centers. So we need. But I think honestly, sorry.
No.
Going on here. Maybe if we could re-engineer those, get some good mechanical and computer engineers together to figure out ways to make that more feasible, to where you're not gonna, the ugliness of we're gonna need all this extra power and infrastructure, and you need to charge the residential customers for that. That's just sick.
Right.
And using up all the water and stuff like that. There's got to be a better way to engineer those, and then maybe you engineer them better, make them more efficient.
And the question is, so you and I do creative stuff with AI.
Yeah.
The average person does not.
Yeah.
So my question is who's using it and for what purposes, and do we need to look at that? Because I pay money to do mine, and then that company should be paying for all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see where that goes, but that's where Lane got his public deal, because he got together with Ron Durbin.
Yeah, right? Ron Durbin. Yeah, he's doing a lot of stuff with him.
So, but Lane hasn't changed any of his stuff. And look, this guy if you go on Twitter and look him up, he has said some crazy stuff. And do you remember when he said that the pink, I think the guy was a pig at a protest, like a blow-up doll, and pushed him out into the street, but he had a rainbow-colored umbrella so he could make fun of gay people. Anybody I've run across in my life that's an athlete that makes fun of gay people turns out to be gay.
Yeah.
I just haven't run across anybody that does.
That was another thing. There was, I can't remember where it was, what publication it was, but I read it probably about a week or two ago that how many gay men are in the
Washington
Republican Party.
It's pretty
and are just shh about it,
Yeah, and the problem is then they're mean to other gay people. That's what actually hurts out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you just go.
The self-loathing, is that where we're at with this? They just need really some counseling,
Well, that's so. I will tell you from doing morning radio a whole bunch. We'd have politicians in, and most of their crew, and I don't know why. That's what was attracted to Democrat and Republican.
Yeah.
I think people would be really surprised at what is behind the scenes, and that's okay. I mean, hey man, if you want to do it, welcome. And if you're an oppressed group, you need to be in politics.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So I don't have any issues with it at all. You would have thought at the ACLU deal that I was at, the conference, that everybody would have been, hell, half of them looked like lawyers and the other half looked like accountants. I mean, it was a really normal looking
Well,
room.
you know, I mean, lawyers in the ACLU.
That is what they do.
That's what
So,
they do. That
just
sounds like you need that.
In case you don't know, they are the organization that has sued in the Supreme Court more than any other organization in America. And so they do all the, it's
Yeah.
gotta be civil rights.
Got to
based
be
stuff.
civil rights and stuff.
Okay, let's talk about campaigns.
Yeah.
Mike Mazie. Mike Mazie.
Oh my gosh. There's another guy who's trying to ride the populism train.
August 25th, this guy, and then I'm telling you, if Mike Mazie and, oh dear God, what's the superintendent's guy? I can't remember
Robert?
his name right. No, he literally said it's the same name as a songwriter that I look like without hair. Anyway, those two guys, they get it on the Republican side. We are legitimately in trouble, or we're not. And you could think that Cindy Munson's one chance to get it.
Oh yeah, we got Drummond, we have
Mazie.
Mazie.
And then a bunch of independents, and I really like a couple of them, but the fact of the matter is, it just doesn't
Mazie,
work.
golly, okay, that guy, you know, I see him just as being a mini Kevin Stitt.
James Taylor, that's the
James Taylor.
Republican superintendent.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, you know, oh yeah, the guy who's got a doctorate
In Bible.
in Bible. He
Yeah.
has no teaching experience, not even administrative experience.
Yeah.
But he seems to think that.
That's who Lane's working for.
Oh my
Lane
gosh.
Brown.
Oh my gosh. You know, and I just put out a post today this morning about Neil Gorsh said that Christian nationalism is a lie. It's not.
It's 'cause he's one. If you're saying that, you're one.
Yeah, he came out to say, hey, J.D. Vance is all saying, you know, this is a Christian nation for Christians and
Oh, it's
everything
saying it
else.
that way.
And he's saying that no, it's not. It's not. You know, we have a First Amendment.
I thought he
and
was
we-
hiding the fact.
No. He was all against Christian act. We're not a Christian. We're not a Christian nation. We got a First Amendment. We have freedom of religion, you know, and we have establishment clause. We have the free exercise and the establishment clause.
But it doesn't feel like that right now.
Yeah, well, you know, the polling is good. The reason is because they're really freaking loud.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in the polling, nearly 70% of people don't
Don't
want
want
us to
right.
be a theocracy.
Right.
And even more than that, recognize nearly 60% say we are not a Christian nation.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good majority that say, no, we're not a Christian nation. You can be a Christian if you want. We have freedom of religion. And then a great number, a major super majority of people do not want us to be a Christian theocracy whatsoever.
And I would say most of us come from a country that has a bad history
Yeah.
with it. If you're from Central Europe, you definitely are from an area with a bad history.
Yeah.
Or if you're from South Central America or Mexico,
Yeah.
you have a bad history with it. Catholic Church was pretty brutal to everyone up and down the.
We just don't want anything.
I don't
like
think
that.
people understand what it means, and I always have this quote from I can't remember the guy's name that runs the city elders, and he's kind of a big, stocky guy, but he always says, "Oh, you want us to be in charge of the government? No,
Wade
it's
Burleson,
way
is
more
it?
than that. No."
No,
But Wade's the polite version, and this guy tells you how it really is. They want to be in charge of people's lives.
Oh yeah, we went to Nani.
Right. He wants the real thing.
We want more than just theocracy.
Right.
We want to be able to tell your business what
What
you're
to
going to do
Yeah.
in a Christian way. We want to tell you what you're going to do in your home and with your children in a Christian way.
But the one thing I would warn everybody of right now, so we've swung to the right, which
Yeah.
is fair to say, and yes, there are some states that didn't, but down
Yeah.
south especially, swung all the way to the right. That rarely swings back to the middle. It swings all the way left. And so we need to be careful, because then that gives the right another chance to
It
come
does.
back of how far left
Yeah.
we go.
How far left?
And I'm tired of moderate Democrats right now, because they just don't get into the mix. But
Yeah.
I think that's something we always want to keep in the back of our mind. Don't go all the way back out there, because then it energizes this
Yeah.
sliver of people in the middle that control all of our elections.
Pretty much.
And
You know, I
would say
mean, hey,
suburban
I
models
hate to
mostly.
say it to people on the far left. I'm not a far leftist. I'm just not. If I was, if I was a far leftist, I wouldn't have been independent for so dang long, you know, because and I know I get it's an unpopular opinion for the left, but socialism and communism, they don't fly.
Yeah.
They don't. They poll about as well as Christian nationalism does, guys. Yeah. They really do. And then I hear so many people who just don't know what that means, not just on the right.
By using the words,
but on the left, don't know what it means. And of course, I think the left is getting more educated on it because I see them saying, okay, this is the difference between communism and socialism. We're not communists. We definitely want social democracy and all this stuff. But man, and the messaging just sucks. You know, hey, because I see, and this is one of my big rails, they're like, well, democratic socialism isn't socialism. I say, okay, well, don't call it socialism.
Don't say the word.
Don't call it socialism. Don't use that. That's poor messaging. Because that's not what anybody hears, especially the people who are adversarial to Democrats or liberals. They're going to run with that. That's what they do. Oh, so he said he's a socialist, and everybody on their side is going to believe it. Yeah. Even though you say, that's not what it means, you look stupid, but they don't care. See, they know. They know what it is. They're just using it as a boogeyman word to attack.
Because it works.
To gather allies, to get campaign funds, to get votes. And that's exactly what they're using. So whenever I see that, I go, oh, what a poor, I mean, that's one of my main examples of very poor messaging. Is democratic socialism. Okay, well, that's socialism. No, it's not socialism. Okay, well, now you look like a fraud because you're saying this is democratic socialism, but it's not socialism. So it just looks stupid.
What I would say is I wouldn't label myself as anything just because it doesn't help you, it isolates you.
Yeah.
From a marketing standpoint. So in business, when I was real young, I always wanted to teach my customers about stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you an example. So a friend of mine and I are in Bangor, Maine, and we go in to get some coffee. And she asked for like a mocha. And the guy goes, we do our mochas like Italy, and then proceeds for 10 minutes to explain what one is.
Yeah.
Both of us been to Italy, we know what it is, but you just go, can I just get an American version of a mocha? Then, well, yeah, we can make that for you, but when you say longer words than I'm a Democrat, you have started down the road of the Italian mocha, the American mocha, because people, for one, half of them are stopped listening, and the other half may not be able to comprehend it.
Yeah.
So we have these two parties, and until we go to a system where we have 6 or 8, which is where I think we eventually end up, because I don't think we end up with 2 after this all breaks.
Yeah.
I think we end up with quite a bit, which is what is working in other places. And then you have to coalesce. You have to work with other groups to make a government. Yeah. Hopefully, in my view, that's probably where we're going. Yeah. I shouldn't say hopefully. In my view, that's where
I think the Democratic Party, Democrats, liberals in general, need better messengers. They need to be better at messaging. There is a couple of people I think do a really good job, like Pete Buttigieg. I think he does a pretty decent job of messaging. You know who I think really is killing it right now in messaging? James Tallarico.
Oh, he's the king.
That guy can message. Yeah. Ken Paxton. Oh man,
that's a gift. So you get a lot of people, and you've been to Democrat stuff, so tons of everybody talks a lot.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily say anything. So when I would go up, I'd go, hey, I just need 1 minute or 2 minutes, and they go, no, if we get this and this, they go, nah, that's all I need. It's all you ready. Because I just go up and say what I want to say, and I mean what I'm going to say, and I get off the stage. And you either like it or you don't like it, because don't give people more reasons not to vote for you. Yeah. I mean, because people pull the weirdest stuff out. Who's the guy, you ran against a pretty old guy your first time running for council. Kip lost by 1 vote. When you think every vote doesn't matter, 1 damn vote.
That ran against the begin, of course.
And beat it terribly. But the first time, what was he calling you the first time? What was his label maker? Did he have one?
No.
Oh wow, that's pretty.
He did. There was no personal attacks on me. There was innuendo. Basically, it was kind of.
There are now.
He didn't come straight at me. Yeah. He didn't come straight at me. Right. He just kind of did it. Let me build this straw man over here and attack that. What was some of the stuff? No, because he did write some pretty kinky stuff in there, right? The kooky stuff, it was he
was Mr. American.
He was Mr. American. I'm Mr. Christian nationalist. The other guy really isn't. I'm for God, country, and this is about war acres for God and country.
Which is no longer about war acres, right? Weird when people
all over the map. But anyway, talking about, yeah, so just going around, not personally attacking me, but like, I'm gonna attack this stuff over here, whether he represents this or not. At least this is what I'm attacking,
So what I tell everybody is, look, you're worried about your past, they're just gonna make it up if you don't have one.
Yeah.
I mean, so just get on the boat and run.
Yeah.
It is, so we've got a, interesting, so Larry Stein has come, even the Democrat running against him is, he used to own Angles, the bar, and probably still does, but he's run for political office quite a few times, and I keep getting messages about him. His name's John Gibbons. I have nothing against him. He used to eat at my restaurants, Boca Boca and everything. But he needs to get out and get some messaging out there if he wants to salvage this. But once again, there are some oddities running this time around. The two important races on the 25th from a Democratic standpoint is you've got the Jason Lowe, District 1. I'm not a fan of Jason Lowe, but I am going to vote for him because the other person is a political plant.
Absolute plant.
Jason Lowe gets my vote this time.
Yeah.
And then the United States Senate, and it's Jasmine Thomas against Priest. And I am interested to see how this works out because last election was just Democratic win, and non-white men did really well. And Priest came in at like 25%. Jasmine came in at like 49.9 or something. But you have to have 50 plus 1 to get through. So we'll see what the Democrats do with that one. And on the Republican side, Gettner Drummond and Mike Myers.
Well, he looks, I get it. He's on pain pills, so he looks like he's
there's something wrong.
He looks like he's on pain pills. He looks like, hey, I will sell out your mother if you give me the opportunity.
I think that's basically it.
I think so. I mean, that's how I feel about that guy. I'm for anything you want.
Yeah.
If you give me the money, if you do whatever else, I'll swing my political power your way because, that's how he is. I mean, I'm going to go with the populist stuff, and that's exactly where he's at. That's how he's going to win. I don't know that that's how he's going to govern, but he's absolutely trying to win this race on populism.
So here's the story with him, with his own people. So I'm down at the Capitol on sign-up day for elections. He comes in the door, and he's got a couple of people with him, and it didn't look like security, but not one single Republican talked to him.
Oh, that's bad.
Right.
I'll tell you what.
What I just said. Not one single Republican.
Here's what I think too. Here, if you see the polling, talking about polling here.
Yeah.
Okay. Last week, for the first time in his presidency, either one, Trump is underwater with rural voters right now.
Well, that'd be nice. Yeah.
And so I think having him as your endorsement. I don't know that that's going to be
It's Oklahoma. So he's at 53% 3 weeks ago. Did that drop since then, or do you know?
I don't know. I haven't seen the Oklahoma polling. Oklahoma is one of the few states where he's not underwater. I mean, we're like, out of 50 states, we're like 1 of 5 where he's not underwater. But I guess that's not Oklahoma. That's across the United States.
Right.
As far as rural voters go, he's now underwater with rural voters. So I think having him as an endorsement is more like an albatross around your neck at this point than anything else. So I expect, if it gets really bad, I expect to see Mike Mazzei like, Trump who?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, just walk away from the whole thing.
I don't really see that as a boon anymore.
Well, I mean, so all of the
original... who else is endorsed by? Steph Bice.
Oh, well.
She's endorsed by him too. Of course.
All I know is her people took a meeting with me. I did not endorse her. I need to point that out here.
Yeah, I gotcha. Hey, staff, that's a whole different deal. Do they get to pick the staff? Or are they like...
No, you pick them. Because I recognize one of the guys there, and you don't want to say that in a meeting because I'm just one of a group.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the guy that goes, hey, man, I know people here. Nobody wants that guy. Okay, let's talk about... Before we get out of here, so James Taylor, Robert Franklin. Okay, so James Taylor is rolling down Ryan Walters River, and he just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it. And I don't know who's selling him on this because there's no way the polling's working.
Yeah, no way. There's no way this happens.
And Franklin's not going to burn our system down. He actually respects education, and from two people that went to school to get degrees. That's what we need. We don't need yet another religious culture war. And this time around the guy's black.
It's sad to say we're probably the lady running on the left. She's kind of.
Oh, she's a little better. Yeah, well, let's not talk about her now. Let's fight about that after the 25th.
I just
We have got weird things happening in the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
time
Cindy
we
Munson.
got to clock ourselves.
She's actually getting out there now. They actually had to let her on a debate stage. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. You know what the best thing in the Democratic Party is? Coffee.
Coffee. Yeah, I was about to think that was one of the first things that came to my mind
short.
when you said that.
He's on TV a lot because he actually knows how to play the game.
Yeah.
And I really and truly, hey, look, he did like this fake Netflix thing where you're sitting down for a documentary. I couldn't tell it was fake until Kevin Stitt tried to do the same thing, and I was like, Kevin, you ought to talk to the young handsome guy because you look like a putz.
I know, man. So the thing is, we'll see. That's gonna be a weird one. We'll see. So Oklahoma, but a lot of people. I will tell you this: when it comes to personal
hygiene,
whatever, or just negative and positive, right? Eccles has a negative character assessment.
Well, here's the deal. Nothing against Eccles. He's got a smarmy look.
No, something against him.
Well,
it's
it's
that
jail. Well, I hadn't even gotten there yet. Quit stealing my teeth.
Sorry, man.
But he's got a swarmy look, and then on top of it, you go to Turnkey Health. And I'm telling you, but Republicans have the advantage. So let's quit acting. Democrats have to go out and get all the independents and some Republicans.
Yeah.
So it's a hard race for everybody.
Yeah, it is. You gotta get all the independents and some Republicans to win.
And
that's statewide, probably. So we're probably.
So I was telling Kit.
Where we at?
Are we too far?
Oh yeah, we're well over.
Okay.
We're well over. I didn't set the timer. I'm sorry.
Right, then let's clear out, buddy.
Let's clear out.
Say goodbye, everybody.
This is the Will Rogers Experiment podcast for this week. And, we'll see what happens over the next week or so. I'm sure we'll have way more to talk about when we see you next time. So we got some guests coming on too, right?
Yep.
So anyway, pick us up. Watch us here live. You can get us on, like we said, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Google, wherever else you want to get us. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Good show. Good show, man. Good show.